Welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in. It's the 86th live stream in a row, each and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Feeling peace together. That's what we're doing here. And I invite you that if you know someone who might benefit from just some peace in their life, I suggest that you share this live stream with them. Why not? Peace shared is peace multiplied. Today is William Shakespeare's birthday. Yes, indeed. And he said one of my favorite quotes, and he said, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Well, yesterday we talked about the right and the wrong and how we might set aside the right and the wrong and focus on the thinking. So how about today we focus on point of view, or what other folks call perceptual position. Out on my walk a couple days ago, there was a carcass of a possum lying in the gutter. Now, I could feel sadness for the life changed, lost. Don't know what happens to a dead possum, but let's just say we could feel sorry for something that has died. That's one point of view. And then there may be a point of view of a veterinarian that walks by. And that veterinarian looks down and says, I wonder how that possum died. The environmental worker, I got to clean this up. A dog coming by. What's that smell? What are those smells? I've got to have those smells. And maybe the little old lady goes by and says, oh, what is that smell? All kinds of points of view. And we're not even yet to the bacteria or the plants or little animals that'll be feeding on this possum's body. Wow. Each see the situation from a different point of view. Think we don't get caught up in our points of view? I was at a hospital, and we were going to build a new hospital building, and all the important doctors and nurses and directors and vice presidents were on the committee. And I saw the consultant do an amazing thing. They'd been through this process before. In one of the very first sessions that they had for designing this hospital with this committee of all these important people, they paired them up, and some folks sat in a wheelchair, some laid on a gurney, and then they walked around, got wheeled around the existing hospital. Well, the point of view of someone sitting in a wheelchair is very different than someone standing up. The point of view of someone lying on a hospital gurney is very different than someone who is walking. One thing they found almost immediately was when you're lying on a gurney and being wheeled from maybe your hospital room down the hall into the elevator and to a radiology lab, for example, MRI or somewhere else, you're staring up at the ceiling. Now, those important doctors and nurses had never looked at the ceiling before. But when they were suddenly lying on a gurney, looking up, they could see that about every 10 feet, bright lights in the ceiling were shining down on them. So, from the point of view of someone walking, overhead direct lighting, perfect. For someone lying on a gurney, the customer, the person hurting, the one that everyone is trying to get better in this hospital, from their point of view, every 10 feet, bright light, bright light, bright light. So this consultant, what did they do? They said, yes, I respect everything you know as a doctor, as a nurse, as a phlebotomist, as a director or a vice president. And let's be sure that we respect everyone else's point of view as well, so that we design a hospital where we're not shining bright lights in our patients' eyes every 10 feet, so that we can meet the needs of the doctors and the nurses and the person who is doing the cleaning of the floor, stocking the shelves. There's all these points of view that have to come together. And the doctor's point of view is there, but it doesn't mean that it's any better or gooder or more true than the nurse or the person lying on the gurney. And so it is in our life as well. In any situation, we can set 3 points of view. The observer, who sees the situation from an uninterested point of view. There is the other, and there is the self. We've got observer, self, and other. And just like we can change our points of view when we look at that possum carcass, and just like doctors and nurses designing a hospital can change their point of view by lying on the gurney or sitting in the chair, we can move between the observer position and see things from a point of view that is maybe cleaner, with more open. We can see the situation from the self, where we see things from our point of view and with our experience and our knowledge, and we can also turn around, step into what it's like to see the situation from the other's point of view. And when I work with clients, we do this thing called aligning perceptual positions, because you might think that we are seeing out of our eyes when we see a situation, or when we're an observer that we are noticing the feelings in a balanced way, or when we're seeing it from the other person's point of view, that we see them on the same level that we are. But my experience in working with clients is that No one sees things cleanly from those points of view. They're often distorted by our past programming, thinking, feeling, experiencing. And when we can bring our eyes into alignment, our voice, our hearing, our feeling into alignment within our body, interesting things can change. And when those perceptual positions are not in conflict, we can feel the peace. And I invite you to step into feeling this peace now. The peace that is in, around, and throughout all. Got nothing to do with time, nothing to do with space. It has no point of view because there is nowhere where it isn't. Just invite you to feel this peace now. And as you go through this day, encountering people and situations, just notice this peace and how you might perceive things from the point of view of this peace. I invite you to share this with a friend who might need a reminder that we can see things from a different point of view. Hit the like button, comment, let me know what you're thinking. I believe in you. And I'll talk with you tomorrow.